Bernard, Bernhard, is a French and West Germanic masculine given name. It is also a surname. The name is attested from at least the 9th century. West Germanic Bernhard is composed from the two elements bern, bear, and hard, brave, hardy. Its native Old English reflex was Bjornherd, which was replaced by the French form Bernard that was brought to England after the Norman conquest. The name Bernhard was notably popular among Old Frisian speakers. Its wider use was popularized due to Saint Bernhard of Clairvaux, canonized in 1174. Bernard is the second most common surname in France. Geographical distribution as of 2014, 42.2% of all known bearers of the surname Bernard were residents of France, frequency 1 to 392, 12.5% of the United States, 1 to 7,203, 7.0% of Haiti, 1 to 382, 6.6% of Tanzania, 1 to 1,961, 4.8% of Canada, 1 to 1,896, 3.6% of Nigeria, 1 to 12,221, 2.7% of Burundi, 1 to 894, 1.9% of Belgium, 1 to 1,500, 1.6% of Rwanda, 1 to 1,745, 1.2% of Germany, 1 to 16,397, 1.2% of Jamaica, 1 to 595, 1.1% of Ghana, 1 to 6,179, 1.0% of England, 1 to 13,691, and 1.0% of Madagascar, 1 to 6,098. In France, the frequency of the surname was higher than national average, 1 to 392, in the following regions: 1. Collectivity of Saint Martin, 1 to 60, 2. Saint Barthélemy, 1 to 189, 3. Bourgogne-Franche-Comté, 1 to 260, 4. Nouvelle-Aquitaine, 1 to 283, 5. Auvergne-Rhône Alps, 1 to 296, 6. Brittany, 1 to 333, 7. Pays de la Loire, 1 to 336, 8. Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur, 1 to 348, 9. Hauts-de-France, 1 to 391. List of people with the name. The following people and items share the name Bernard. Given name: Catholic saints: Saint Bernard. See Saint Bernard. Disambiguation. # people. Medieval Bernard, Bishop of Carlisle, died 1214, 13th century. Catholic Bishop Bernard, Bishop of Gaeta, died 1047. Bernard, Bishop of St. David's, 1115 to 1148. Bernard, son of Charles the Fat, died 891 or 892. Duke of Alamannia. Bernard Guay, circa 1260 to 1331. 14th century Inquisitor. Bernard of Calvo, Bernat Calbo, 13th century saint and bishop of Vich. Bernard of Carinola, died 1109. 12th century saint and bishop of Carinola. Bernard of Cluny, 12th century Benedictine monk. Bernard of Kilwinning, d. circa 1331. Scottish abbot and chancellor. Bernard of Quintaval, died 1241. Companion of Saint Francis of Assisi. Bernard of Verdun, author of the Tractatus Super Totum Astrologium. Modern Bernard, footballer. Bernard Inicio Caldera Duarte, Brazilian footballer. Bernard Aluwaihare, 1902 to 1961. Sri Lankan politician. Bernard Alvarez, NASCAR racing driver. Bernard Inicio Caldera Duarte, known as Bernard, Brazilian footballer. Bernard Baruch, 1870 to 1965. American financier and political advisor. Bernard Berrien, born 1980. American football player. Bernard Blaut, 1940 to 2007. Polish football player. Bernard Bonigine, born 1950. French author. Bernard Borsko, born 1944, on whom the play M. Butterfly was based. Bernard Butler, born 1970. English musician. Bernard Capraz, born 1949. Belgian politician. Bernard Cerquilini, born 1947. French linguist. Bernard Cotret, 1951 to 2020. French historian. Bernard Coin, giant, 1897 to 1921. American who is one of only 20 individuals in medical history to have stood 8 feet, 240 centimeters, or more. Bernard Cribbins, 1928 to 2022. English children's TV personality, actor and voice artist. Bernard Daoyogo, 1946–2003, President of Nauru. Bernard Ebbers, born 1941, engineered an accounting fraud at WorldCom while he was its CEO. Bernie Ecclestone, born 1930, British business magnate and primary authority in Formula One. Bernard Edwards, American football, born 1969, American football player. Bernard Fanning, born 1969, Australian singer, Powderfinger. Bernard Finnegan, born 1972, Australian politician and sex offender. Bernard T. Feld, 1919–1993, 20th-century physicist and anti-nuclear activist. Bernard Fox, Irish Republican, born 1951, Provisional Irish Republican Army member. Bernard Freeman, birth name of American rapper Bun B. Bernard Freyberg, New Zealand's most famous soldier and general of World War II. Bernard Guignedo, 1947–2021, French football player. Bernard Hall, disambiguation, multiple people. Bernard Henry, born 1960, American football player. Bernard Herrmann, 1911–1975, American film composer. Bernard Hill, born 1944, English actor. Bernard Hinault, born 1954, French cyclist, five-time winner of the Tour de France. Bernard Hopkins, born 1965, boxer. Bernard Jayamana, 1908–1965, Sri Lankan Sinhala playwright, director, producer, actor. Bernard Jayasuriya, Sri Lankan businessman and politician. Bernard Kalb, 1922–2023, American broadcast journalist. Bernard Cora, 1923–2018, French painter. Bernard Ladiche, 1922–2020, Polish singer and actor. Bernard Lagat, born 1974, Kenyan-American distance runner. Bernard Lee, 1908–1981, English actor. Bernard Lepkofker, American competitive judoka. Bernard Looney, born 1969–1970, Irish businessman, CEO of BP. Bernie Mac, born Bernard McCullough, 1957–2008, comedian and actor. Bernard Madoff, 1938–2021, American stockbroker who engineered a $65 billion Ponzi scheme. Bernard Malamud, 1914–1986, American writer. Bernard Manning, 1930–2007, British stand-up comedian. Bernard Matthews, English turkey farmer, founder of Bernard Matthews Limited. Bernard McGinley, American judge. Bernard Menetrel, 1906–1947, French physician and advisor to Marshal Philippe Pétain during World War II. Bernard Molalisi, 1933–2020, Mosutu Roman Catholic Bishop. Bernard Montgomery, 1887–1976, English military officer. Bernard Opper, 1915–2000, American basketball player. Bernard Pires, 1908–1977, Sri Lankan lawyer. Bernard Pereira, 1956–2012, Sri Lankan cricketer. Bernard Raisman, born 1957, Brazilian volleyball player. Bernard H. Johnny Rogers, 1905–1977, American politician. Bernard Sachs, 1858–1944, American neurologist. Bernie Sanders, born 1941, U.S. Senator from Vermont. Bernard Sattenstein, 1906–1959, American football player. Bernard Schootman, born 1973, Dutch football player. George Bernard Shaw, 1856–1950, usually referred to as Bernard Shaw, Irish playwright, critic, and essayist. Bernard Shaw, 1940–2022, American broadcast journalist. Bernard Shear Cliff, 1924–2017, American editor. Bernard Spilsbury, 1877–1947, English pathologist. Bernard Soysaw, 1914–1997, Sri Lankan Trotskyist. Bernard Sumner, born 1956, British musician. Bernard Tapie, 1943–2021, French businessman and politician. Bernie Taupin, born 1950, British songwriter and collaborator with Elton John. Bernard Tilakaratne, 1927–2004, Sri Lankan diplomat. Bernard Tomic, born 1992, Australian tennis player. Bernard Vogler, 1935–2020, French historian and academic. Bernard Bernie Wolf, born 1951, Canadian hockey player. Bernard Wolfman, 1924–2011, American dean of the University of Pennsylvania Law School, and law professor. Bernard Zerfus, 1911–1996, French architect Bernard Welsh, 1959. Surname Agnes Bernard, 1842–1932. British Roman Catholic nun Alain Bernard. Born 1983. French swimmer Alfred Aloysius Bernard, 1888–1949. American vaudeville singer Antoine Bernard Detinou, 1853–1954. French journalist and explorer Armand Bernard, 1893–1968. French comic actor and composer Brandon Bernard, 1980–2020. American convicted murderer Carlos Bernard. Born 1962. American actor Catherine Bernard, 1662–1712. French novelist Cheryl Bernard. Born 1966. Canadian curler Claude Bernard, 1813–1878. French physiologist Crystal Bernard. Born 1961. American actress Danielle Bernard. Disambiguation. Multiple people Dave Bernard. American football. 1912–1973. American football player David Bernard. Cricketer. Born 1981. West Indian cricketer David Bernard. Orchestra conductor. Born 1964. American conductor, pianist and clarinetist Dwight Bernard. Born 1952. American baseball player Ed Bernard. Born 1939. American actor Edward Bernard. 1638–1697. English scholar Émile Bernard. Composer, 1843–1902. French composer and organist. Émile Bernard. Painter, 1868–1941. French painter Francis Bernard. Disambiguation. Multiple people Giovanni Bernard. American football player Henri Bernard. 1899–1986. French judge Henri Bernard. 1900–1967. French hurdler Henry Boyle Bernard. 1812–1895. Irish Conservative Party politician. MP for Bandon 1863–68 Henry Bernard. Designer of the Palace of Europe. The seat of the Council of Europe Hilda Bernard. Born 1920. Argentine actress Jacques Bernard. Born 1929. French actor J. Bernard FRSL. Born 1988. British writer. Jean-David Bernard. Born 1977. French rower Jean-Pierre Bernard. 1933–2017. French actor Geoffrey Bernard. 1932–1997. English journalist John Henry Bernard. 1860–1927. Church of Ireland Archbishop of Dublin Joseph E. Bernard. 1880–1958. American character actor Joseph Carl Bernard. Circa 1781–1850. Austrian journalist and librettist Jules Bernard. Born 2000. American basketball player Laurent Bernard. Born 1971. French basketball player Lawrence G. Bernard. 1914–1997. Rear Admiral in the U.S. Navy Léonce Bernard. 1943–2013. Canadian politician Lucas M. Bernard. American financial economist Marvin Bernard. American rapper, better known by his stage name Tony Yeo Michel Bernard. Disambiguation. Multiple people Nikhil Bernard. Indian footballer Oliver Bernard. 1925–2013. English poet and translator Oliver Percy Bernard. 1881–1939. English architect and scenic designer Raymond Bernard. 1891–1977. French film director and screenwriter Raymond W. Bernard. 1903–1965. Early 20th century American alternative health, esoteric writer, author, and mystic Rod Bernard. 1940–2020. American singer Samuel Bernard. 1615–1687. French miniature painter Sherman A. Bernard. 1925–2012. Louisiana politician Susan Bernard. 1948–2019. American actress and author Suzanne Bernard. 1892–1910. French aviator Terrell Bernard. Born 1999. American football player Tristan Bernard. 1866–1947. French playwright and novelist Valère Bernard. 1860–1936. French artist and writer William Bernard. Disambiguation. Multiple people Wynton Bernard. Born 1990. American baseball player. Fictional characters given name Bernard. TV shorts. The Curious Polar Bear from the animation series Bernard Bernard. A character from Blackadder II, who is usually only called by her title. Nursey Bernard. A character from Megamind Bernard. A character from The Waves Bernard. A mouse from the Rescuers books and films Bernard. The sea hag's pet vulture in the Popeye comics, cartoons Bernarda Alba. The mother in Federico Garcia Lorca's drama, La Casa de Bernarda Alba Bernard Beasley. A character from the children's program Bernard's Watch Bernard Bernoulli. A character from Maniac Mansion Bernard Black. A character from Black Books Bernard. Barney. Fife, Deputy Sheriff of Mayberry from the Andy Griffith Show Bernard Lowe. A character from Westworld Bernard Marks from Brave New World Bernard Nadler. A character from the television show Lost Bernard the Arch-Elf. The head elf from Disney's Santa Claus movies Bernard the Bee-Boy. A boy raised by bees seen in 2 commercials for Honeycomb cereal Bernard Wiseman. A character from Mobile Suit Gundam 0080. War in the Pocket Bernard Woolley. A character from Yes Minister Bernard Mickey Wrangle. An explosive character from Still Life with Woodpecker by Tom Robbins Bernardo. Zorro's companion giant Bernard. Wrestling name of Matt Bloom Bernie Lomax the boss who dies in the 80s comedy film Weekend at Bernie's surname Andy Bernard. Character on the United States television series The Office.